by now. Hyperkirby, also known as Mugen before, one of the originators of Roy from Ultimate, from Smash 4 into Ultimate, and obviously Colo started popping off over in Georgia when he switched over to it too. But this is somebody who has been playing this character for a long time. Here are not going to be many dropped combos coming out of Hyperkirby, but he's going up against Shulk. How do you feel about this matchup overall?
I think Shulk is like a really broken character in theory, but that's just the theory craft. There's no players that are like the level of Shulk to bring out his full potential. Like, there's no MKLeo level players that main Shulk, you know what I mean? Yeah,
we got a couple people who've had some very close stints to it, like, but it's there's a lot going on with Shulk. It's hard to think about it all the time, but very, very strong character. And also one of the characters that is very difficult matchup for a character like Peach, so that's why you see them usually switch up in that matchup.
Yeah, I want to say Shulk also does specialize at anti-combo characters. Like, if they're doing like a Kazuya combo, you just like say nope. I'm changing colors. Nope, no combo for you. Yeah, or a character who's slow.
Not something you can see too often be punished by most of the lower level, but when you start to go up, it gets be a big problem. Like we said before, Hyperkirby, he saw that regrab, immediately covered it, and he is being as impressive as possible, which is what you need to do.
Yeah, but I don't like some of the stuff Shulk does there. Like, he just is smashing in neutral. I feel like you need to do more early nairs. Like, more early nairs and early fairs to stuff in case he moves forward in what I call the unreactable future.
Yeah, nair in and of itself is like the main tool that you need out of Shulk. It's what keeps everybody grounded, but I like what Hyperkirby's doing. He's actually short hop fairing instead of nairing to get him before he jumps. That way he doesn't take a trade off of nairs with each other.
From a Hyperkirby's point of view, I would say he is doing what's right. I just think that when there's space, I think Shulk should be doing early move more to stuff in case he moves forward.
Yeah, definitely agree. He's playing too much in Roy's range, and he's not able to get pretty much anything started because of that. You cannot try to play in that same space. You got to be like right around here. You should already preemptively be trying to get the aerial out.
I want to address what you just said. The word preemptive, you're kind of doing it on autopilots often anyway. Yeah. Like, without thinking, like, I'm this distance from him, I'm going to do this no matter what, and then condition from there. You can't only do reaction when your sword is slow.
Yeah, that was an interesting option there. He caught him at the very tail end of the hit, and then he went for Appy immediately to check him for trying to swing at a disadvantage. Hyperkirby, obviously, there's definitely some matchup history between these two because he is preemptively checking so many defensive options from 11.
Yeah, Hyperkirby plays very aggressive, which is suiting his name.
I like that too. Not only going for not committing to jab one into bear right away because he was a little bit closer to center, but going after hit because I don't think I saw a single time where 11 at that range decided to jump or air dodge. He was almost always trying to land aggressively, and Hyperkirby checked that. So that not only gave him a little more damage, but helped him reposition, just knowing that there was nothing he was going to do about that first hit.
Yeah, this matchup's basically Shulk saying, my sword is longer, I need to do that, and if Roy gets close, Roy has a big advantage.
Yeah. So also, when I say preempt, we were talking about preemptively for the person who asked that. It's just like doing it ahead of time in anticipation.
Doing it early on autopilot.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's a very flowchart feel.
Yeah. Generally, when a character has a long range move, but slow frame data, doing it early on autopilot becomes more important. That stops them in case they move forward.
Yeah. It's a very good way to slow down super aggressive characters. But you have to be very careful about how often you do it because it'll be very easy to read later. Now we're going to see a switch over to Byleth. Obviously, it's best of 5. What do you think, personally, about the Byleth match?
Byleth is kind of similar to that concept I just said about Shulk with doing the move early, except you also have a nair, which is particularly good at up close.
Yeah, I think that might honestly be a part of it because he couldn't get Shulk nair out fast enough or space it well enough. Now with Byleth, it's going to be a little bit easier to try and do within that range and try and keep Hyperkirby not only from jumping too much, but maybe check him a bit, try and condition shield and get stage position out of it. So far, it's not working too well, though.
So something about offline ultimate, which is not as prominent online, if somebody's waiting roll distance and you're at kill percent, and then the roll happens, you can consistently react to it.
Yep.
Whereas if you're trying to do the same thing online, there's a high chance you're going to react slow anyway, even if you're expecting it. So it's something very different to take note of.
Yep.
So right there, he rolled at kill percent at like 100. Right, that roll, even though he got punished for it, it wasn't as bad because it's not a situation he can easily die.
Yep.
But, okay, he's doing way too many rolls. roll is not something you want to spam.
Yeah, I think he's extremely scared of like the neutral get up punish, but at the same time, if you do that every single time, you're going to get punished for it.
It's even if you know they're going to neutral get up, it's not that easy. It's only one frame. Whereas roll, it's 15 or more. It's a totally different ball game. I would recommend spamming neutral stand a lot more than spamming roll in any given set.
I think that's why a majority of like the higher level players will do that very often. He did mix it up that time and went for a jump and then landed and rolled in, but like it was still the roll in.
Yeah.
I would like to see like 11 has been swinging on his shield a ton. I haven't seen him make an attempt really at grabs though. Like obviously Hyperkirby's been very aggressive and gets another double-edged dance on the ledge there to get the stock. But he has to try and make Hyperkirby, get scared so he can get control out of that and push him to ledge.
Oh.
He might die for that. Oh, okay, early air dodge, but he's gonna re-grab. Yeah, that's gonna be a spike.
So another thing I want to say that's so Byleth doing the ledge camping there. That part's fine, but there's one little detail that's extremely important detail there. A lot of people who have less experience at Ultimate, what they do is they reel in right away. And if you reel in right away, it's just really easy to like downer that. There's like a 20 frame window, roughly, like a third of a second where you can actually spike them. So you kind of just assume that they're just going to come in right away, and if they do, you get an easy spike. But if you just like pick any random time to do it over the next 2 seconds, then the odds of getting spiked is very small.
Yeah, they might either go for the dare a little bit too early, or they try to wait to react to it, and then you just trip them up. It's all about mixing up your timing.
Doing it right away is typically not recommended, in my opinion.
Like, I actually liked that nair for a change. Like, he's stalling a bit more at ledge. He did go for 2 aggressive options in a row, but it's a big shift of difference compared to how much he did it before. That time, though, he went for a 3rd aggressive option. Hyperkirby was ready for it. It's kind of like Hyperkirby just understands the ranges that he needs to play at too. Always rolling it like actually that time. Okay, he was aggressive 2 times in a row before, so that roll in wasn't as ready. But
that's interesting. You got a nair 1 and then strong up tilt. That's a cool way to kill.
Yeah, like we said earlier, there's no world where he's dropping any combos. Like he just knows everything. So when it comes to this character, so if you're 11 in this situation, right? You are now on game 3. You stayed with the Byleth. What is your approach from this point forward? Like, what did you see last game that he needs to fix to try and maybe get something going?
He's doing like a lot of laggy, like he's doing like. I lost my train of thought actually on what I was gonna say, but I think he needs to, like on average he needs to get more space. But he's doing like moves that have like a lot of lag. I would want to see like more forward airs and downers. Sorry, more forward airs and back airs. Preemptively set up early. That way, in the event that you miss, you're just sacrificing a little bit of stage control and not a direct punish.
Yeah, like there's been very minimal option coverage from 11 throughout the set. That's something you have to do as a sortie. Like you put fear into people just by existing with that range. It's very important. He does go down to his last stock though, and now it is looking like it could be a 3 stock here. Forced the air dodge, covered it that time. That was good.
Yes, that was something I would recommend.
Air dodge back
Those
here.
Air dodges are typically not recommended offline because there's actually 19 frames on landing leg, so you could that's very punishable.
Yep. Oh, actually, he caught him on the jump there. This could be a good opportunity right here.
No.
But
so, yeah, there the autopilot bear is good. Typically, you would want to be under them at an angle to threaten possibilities, and that's more. Okay, yeah, now there. Oh, but he didn't get the same autopilot there.
Yeah, he went for the same setup as last time, but that time Hyperkirby saw through it. It's like, all right, I'm going to roll in. I got time.
There's a little gap between that one.
That's a good thing to think about, too, whenever you're in that situation, chat. Like, if you went for that last time, you can also try to cover another option because you know that they just went through that and they might freak out. Try to cover that roll in and try to back up and put a spaced aerial out. You might hit them not only on a spot dodge, but also if they roll in as well.
Also, right here. Oh.
Ooh.
Actually,
Wait a minute,
I'm gonna just shut up because I didn't see that plan coming. That was actually a very good plan. That was
this 11?
I didn't see that coming. That was a very good edge guard actually. I was gonna say there wasn't much reason for the ledge grab, but now that I know his game plan, I'd actually take that back.
Yeah. All right, now Uptilt's gonna do it. It was starting to bring it back, but
yeah, the edge guard was good. That was quite good.
And to answer the question for a couple people, I see a lot of people saying, "Wait, isn't that Mugen? Why did he change his name?" Just to bring it back again. Back in Smash 4, this is the artist formerly known as Hyperkirby. That was his original name. He ended up switching it throughout Ultimate's history, but he has gone back. Kind of like how we see Cola back at Salt 1, so it's cool to see like everybody kind of going back to the roots on their names, I guess. But like Hyperkirby, he's been around for a long time. He is really good at Roy, and as we see there, just again, he's going to go ahead and move forward in the winner's side of pools.
Yep. I believe Hyperkirby and Cola, I think they used to play together.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they learned from each other. I think Cola learned from him originally, I think, but I'm not. Don't quote me on that.
I remember. I believe
wrong.
the way it went actually was